Okay? It's really happening this time, guys. Guys, it's actually happening this time. Yes, I know it wasn't at the Game Awards like everyone on Earth thought it was going to be for some reason. No, including me. But instead, we got a product placement, and every other time we thought it was really happening, it didn't. You know, on top of that, you can find videos as old as YouTube speculating about Half-Life 3, but it's really happening this time, guys. Barney's voice actor told me. So TF2 just ended, by the way. I mean, a lot of people talk about, you know, the comic coming out, but it's over. Like, the story's done. That was just dropped on a random day with no fanfare. And Deadlock might as well already be out, so clearly Valve is going to show Half-Life 3 at E3. Oh wait, I meant the time E3 used to happen. But in all seriousness, I do think it's actually going to happen this time. If not, clip this and put this image over it to make fun of me for being wrong. For as long as I've been a gamer, people have been salivating over the idea of Half-Life 3, and for just as long, people have been telling us either that it won't happen, or maybe more disappointingly, that whenever it does happen, it will be the single most disappointing game of all time. Not based on any idea of Valve falling off as a game dev, but more so that it could not possibly live up to the expectations of us rabid Valve fans. And, yeah, maybe you got us there. I mean, we've been making wild speculations since the moment episode 2 ended, and it's only gotten crazier with every leak of a scrapped story and clip of scrapped gameplay that we've ever gotten along the way. And to this day, people are still very desperate to see a Avengers Endgame scenario to beat up G-Man going on with all of the characters in the Half-Life universe, including every spin-off character. So I thought, you know, as a preemptive move here before Valve drops the trailer on us on a Saturday afternoon, that we, you know, me and you, should look at whatever I can dig up on YouTube, see what Half-Life fans have been trying to predict for almost 2 decades at this point. We'll see some fan trailers, some hoax trailers, just straight up lies, fan wishes, and of course, coping to the point of insanity. Afterwards, we'll talk a little bit about how much I think any of these wants and wishes will actually make it into Half-Life 3. So just give me a second to scrape the bottom of the barrel and I'll be right back.
500 cigarettes.
Hey guys, I'm back and I found a doozy of a video selection. Some I remember from my childhood, some you probably remember from yours. And guys, sitting and watching YouTube for like 3 hours was some serious work. You better show me some support and give me some of your Green's private reserve. Let's start strong with a popular one by Deviant Picture Films. This was released back in 2014, and for the time, this was extremely impressive, and the views show it. This is the first time we'll see this trend in Half-Life 3 and Episode 3 speculation videos. That, of course, is our player characters going to the Borealis. Something that was planned to be in Half-Life 2, but was cut out and then was teased in the episodes, and we, you know, still have yet to get to. What we also see here as a first is going back to Zen. Despite the general big gamer rage that comes with the Zen section of Half-Life 1, people have always wanted to go back. I get it, I mean, they dropped us in here, we kill a giant baby, game's over. Hell, I'd want to go back too, even if I was really there. I mean, probably not, because... Also in this fan trailer, we get to see Gordon Freeman with a helmet on, which I suppose is acceptable for the Arctic conditions, and that is where most of your body heat leaves. Any other time, he ain't got that one on, guys. I am a helmetless Gordon Freeman truther. I mean, do you guys think he just takes that shit off for picture day or what? We also get to see, white Alex Vance. I guess people have always been obsessed with cut content for Half-Life, haven't they? But really, who the fuck is this? That ain't her. I mean, let me take a look at her mom and dad real quick. Maybe I'm crazy. No, that's definitely not her. Anyway, the same channel made a Half-Life 3 trailer back in 2009. I mean, it's nothing to write home about except for this shot here with the cut female assassin Combine. This is another trend you're going to see, and that's the fans' obsession with Half-Life 2 cut ideas being in Half-Life 3. This is such a common through line with all of this stuff that I just straight up associate the Half-Life 2 beta and its other cut content with Half-Life 3. I know I'm not the only one. Like, all of this cut old stuff, all this stuff that was going to be in Half-Life 2's original vision, I look at it and I'm all like, that's Half-Life 3. I mean, even though none of it fits in the current setting of the Half-Life world, I just can't sort of separate the two in my mind. Here we have another fan trailer by a channel named Bollocks, which appears to have a thumbnail featuring Gordon and Alex shortly after the Combine suppression field went down. On the orders of her dad, of course. Anywhom, this one is Half-Life 3, the C7 even hour war. And while this one is just a mashup of Half-Life 2, Call of Duty, and Black Mesa, and yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe this one wasn't that serious, and I may have written down this section for nothing. Anyway, the Combine are gonna blow up Earth. Really, really old fan trailers would sometimes just be footage from something else with Half-Life related audio placed over it. Usually these were more for the fake Half-Life trailers rather than fan ones. But in the case of Half-Life 3 fan trailer from Valve's Are Fun, we just have audio of G-Man talking over whatever this is. I don't know, I couldn't source it. What do you want from me? Yeah, this video is basically nothing, but if I wasn't gonna be the person to talk about this, no one would, and I'm afraid it might get lost to the sands of time because there's nothing to talk about with it. Slightly more interesting but similar case is the legendary video Half-Life 3, also known as Half-Life 3 The Package, which is just a weird short film about a creepy robot dude, and someone watched this and they said, hey, that looks Half-Life-ly enough. I bet it'll trick people. Results may vary though. No, seriously, what is this thing? I don't like it. I can get what they were going for. I can feel the Valve vibes while looking at this, but I don't like looking at this. This next one might actually be one of my favorites out of this little compilation of Half-Life fan trailers, and it's Half-Life 3 fan trailer by Joe is Killer. This one is a short one and unfortunately has less views than the joke one we looked at too. It doesn't really show all that much. This is more like Half-Life fan teaser trailer by Joe is Killer, if you know what I mean. It opens with a heavy narration about dreams and goals while Gordon seems to be incapacitated in the Arctic, while Alyx, who isn't white this time, looks on while being just very cold. But it ends with Gordon facing off against an advisor. I think this is one of the better fan trailers because it's actually trying to be a teaser trailer for something story-wise rather than long shots of rooms with intercut gameplay. It's got this little artsy color splash and just enough context to give us info. They're after the Borealis, something bad happened, but this is still the end. Gordon is trying to get this one in the bag. And if you pay attention at the end, yes folks, you can see something a little fun. Gordon's got a portal gun. This is another trend we'll see. This might be the biggest ask from fans out of the Half-Life 3 wants list. And we've seen it for years, and that's the synthesis of Half-Life and Portal. As we both know, both series share a universe, and ever since Chell finally escaped in Portal 2, people have wanted her to show up in Half-Life. You can see this want further illustrated. Yeah, I got fancy language. This is sort of a video essay. In many of the Valve crossover classics, like how Portal should have ended and When Gordon Met Chell. There's a lot more to talk about with How Gordon Met Chell. How Portal should have ended just has Chell throwing a mangled and broken Gordon in the sewers because, I don't know, she's just like that, I guess. Maybe GLaDOS was right. Anyway, When Gordon Met Chell is like a Valve fan staple. It's a high-effort fan film where Gordon, whose HEV suit has seen better days, meets up with Chell to fight Combine soldiers who look like characters from Stalker for some reason. Also, Gordon's goatee's seen better days. I mean, goddamn, I don't know. Get Barney to come in here and trim that shit up, dude. I feel like every Valve fan has seen this one. And I mean, yeah, a lot of effort was put into this one. Of course it deserves it. Look at Gordon smush this guy to death and then just have him use that as a way to flirt with Chell because he's just so Sigma, I guess. It's just some well-meaning action, but it's also not the only video of its type. There's another almost as famous Portal vs. Half-Life video starring a much less ragged Gordon who eats the portal cake with a crowbar. Getting big how gamers eat their food vibes from this. Anyway, Chell takes her cake back and tries to leave with it, and that makes Gordon so mad he immediately tries to kill her Ravenholm style. A little reverse on how it should have ended apparently. Seriously, Gordon spends this entire video trying to murder Chell because she took the cake. Like he's out for blood. Really, I don't know what's more out of character, that science department Riz or Gordon being homicidally mad at some random ass person, although I suppose that's dependent on how you play Half-Life 1. You know, despite people straight up lusting over the idea of cut Half-Life 2 content and Portal content being in Half-Life 3 together, I've never seen anyone include cut Portal content in these. I can find a million mods that try to act as Half-Life 3 and a billion fake Half-Life 3 trailers that include the cremators from the beta, but none include Wheatley Crab. I've never seen Alyx team up with Mel. I've never seen Gordon use the paint gun or whatever this is. Seriously, what the hell is that thing? I mean, I don't know what they were doing while they were making that. While the fan bases have always wanted these two to link up, they seem to be way more concerned with just getting the portal gun in Gordon's hands rather than getting the gravity gun in Chell's hands, if you get what I mean. Side note, I refuse the idea that Portal 2 is set a billion trillion years in the future. The machine is broken, guys. Stop. I don't know why you guys guys fight so hard for it? Portal 2 billion years in the future, truthers. Why do you fight so hard for the game to be in a lamer setting? Anyway, to continue our little digital safari, I also found an old upload by an account called Lazarus, which had a Half-Life 3 trailer on it. I clicked on it. Wow, this is really cool looking. I mean, obviously it's not real. Obviously this isn't Half-Life 3, but damn, it's cool, and it was more Portal cross Half-Life shit. And then I thought, well, this is like way too cool for it to just be some random old upload on a forgotten account. So I did a Google Lens search with a screenshot, and I fell down a little rabbit hole for an old mod called Portal 2 Repercussions. This mod is just fucking cool. I mean, look at this. Look what's on the screen right now. I couldn't divine much about the story from it, but it looks like if Half-Life was Portal, if you get what I mean, vibes-wise. Fortunately, the mod's development fell off a long time ago, and there hasn't been any updates since, so it's just been kind of forgotten by time. It's really sad because, again, this was really cool looking. That's the thing with Valve leaving such a long gap between games. So many impressive fan projects crop up out of the want for Half-Life 3 and Portal 3. But for every Black Mesa that goes the distance, there's like 10 Portal Repercussions. Sometimes Half-Life 3 fakes weren't even as elaborate as just showing a clip from an unfinished mod. Sometimes they were like the legendary classic 2010 Half-Life 3 demo gameplay, where some kid recorded his monitor while running around with a crowbar in Left 4 Dead 2. Now, I know this might be shocking, but yes, this really is Left 4 Dead 2 and not leaked Half-Life 3 gameplay. I know it's hard to believe, but if you look closely, you can tell it's actually Left 4 Dead 2. And if you needed any more proof, pause it when Gordon Freeman, Ellis, swings the crowbar, no HEV suit. Finally, out of our fake trailers, we have one you may have seen called Half-Life 3 trailer by Music Man Trailers X. I think this one might be the epitome of our little venture here, because it includes almost everything we've talked about so far, both the ideas and the content, because this trailer is just made up of a bunch of other Half-Life videos stitched together, including the end of the first video we talked about now at the beginning. I unfortunately can't source all of these clips because there's just so many. As always, it features cut Half-Life 2 content, going to the Arctic to get the Borealis, going back to Zen for round 2 with floating monster alien babies, and while you don't see it in the trailer, the video ends with this fan logo we've all seen kicking around. This being the Portal logo mixed with the Half-Life logo. Also these like weird looking ass combines, and I don't know, something about them upsets me. A lot of these guys in between the Stalker combine from when Gordon met Chell and whatever the hell this robot monstrosity was from Half-Life 3 the package. One last thing I wanted to mention was this channel I remembered called Super Real Easter Eggs. You guys ever remember an old video or old channel you watched when you were a kid, and when you finally remember it years later, you assumed that it probably had a bunch of views and subs. And then you go back and like, yeah, no, it didn't. You just were one of the lucky few who stumbled across it. Well, Super Real Easter Eggs was that for me. This guy made videos manically looking for Half-Life 3 Easter eggs to prove it was right around the corner. The video I specifically remember was when he played a game of 7D chess to get the name Shock Jockey from BioShock Infinite to be a Half-Life Easter egg via Minecraft and From Software. When I was younger, I remember thinking this guy was just insane. You could have probably used his channel to build a lawsuit against Valve for pulling this man into psychosis from lack of Half-Life 3. Of course, when making this video, I went back to his channel and guys, I have a sneaking suspicion this may have just been a dedicated long-running joke. Just a small hunch that maybe this channel wasn't entirely serious, although I don't know. Maybe he's onto something. Maybe there is a Half-Life 3 Easter egg in the React World announcement. Let's hear him out.
That we wouldn't be able to read the entire article, they put the Easter egg right in the first word. Life. And finally, L. Everyone should guess this, I'll give you a second. L is Spanish for the. The has 3 letters, therefore the Easter egg here is 3.
Shit, dude's right. He's completely on the money with this. I can't believe I ever doubted him.
500 cigarettes.
So, after looking at all these videos and a few more I didn't have time to squeeze in here, I'll play them all at once. There we go. I think I've come to an understanding of what Valve fans want, namely Half-Life 3, but you know, the stuff inside the game too. People have spoken Valve, and they demand you hear them and acquiesce. They want Portal, they want Chell, they want Zen, they want Half-Life 2 cut content stuff, and they want to go to the Borealis. But are any of these even going to happen? If Valve is anything, they are unpredictable. Sure, we're pretty sure they're making Half-Life 3, but we don't really have much of an idea of the contents of the game. No, just some vague ideas of systems that may or may not end up in the final product. Valve wanted to make Portal 2 have no portals. Valve bought the mod Team Fortress for a game they didn't even own, had them make a version of it for their own in-house engine, called it Team Fortress Classic for some unknown reason to God and mankind, and then tried to make a realistic, real-world military FPS out of this, and then changed it into, you know, this, and then that changed the gaming landscape forever and ever. So as I said, they are unpredictable. Now, I'm no Valve News Network, but let me tell you what I think's gonna happen. Let's start with something I think will certainly happen to Borealis. This stupid ship has been haunting Half-Life since before the second game even came out. Then, when it wasn't in Half-Life 2, they made it an important plot point in the episodes. Then, as we can see in the Half-Life 2 20th anniversary documentary, it's pretty clear we were going somewhere snowy, so I think, yeah, the Borealis was still planned, as well as the ship featuring in Epistle 3, a finished but scrapped script for Half-Life 3. I don't know if we're gonna start in the Arctic like all the fan trailers and fake trailers like to show, but I feel like they've already set up too much for them to just abandon it now. Now, about going back to Zen, I think there's a pretty good chance this is gonna happen. There was some Zen-related things in those code leaks a little bit ago, and this might be the end of Half-Life, or, you know, just the story as we know it. So going back to Zen to unify Half-Life 1 and 2 thematically a bit more makes sense from a writing standpoint. I think Black Mesa's Zen section created a lot of hype around the idea of returning there as well. So Valve might just want to give it another shot. I mean, is it going to be a major section of the next game? I don't know. Or is it going to be more like the Zen section from my goat and savior Blue Shift? It's hard to say. But if those code leaks are going to come to fruition, I feel like it's going to play a bigger role. They're making stuff like the fucking Zen Gorillas. Now we have Portal and Half-Life unifying into one series, and yeah, that's just not happening. If we ever get Portal 3, I think it's just going to continue to have its own separate but connected identity. So yeah, I don't think this logo is going to pop up at Valve's E3 time conference. What about Portal stuff showing up in Half-Life 3? I think, yeah, that's a given, but how much is the real question? The Borealis was an Aperture Laboratory ship, and we're after the Aperture technology on the ship, so clearly we'll get some Portal stuff, but I think Gordon's not getting his own portal gun. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted it too as a kid. I mean, hey, maybe we'll have to solve a weird on-ship test chamber. Why not? So now we have the big ask, but I'm combining this with a thing I didn't mention earlier. So we have Chell in Half-Life, but I'm also adding other Half-Life universe characters to this too, because all of these old videos were so old. It was before a new generation of Half-Life fans sprung up and played all the side story games and grew attached to the characters in them. Nowadays, everyone and their grandma are making freaking epic badass Adrian Shepard animations and edits, and people just have a new appreciation for Barney. And everybody wants to play Half-Life Decay but can't because Valve still doesn't have it on Steam for no apparent reason. Seriously, Valve, what are you doing? So out of this little cast of characters from the Half-Life universe, who do I think we're gonna see next? And the answer is probably just Barney again. I mean, yeah, Valve can't seem to force themselves to remember Decay exists. They are, for some reason, afraid to touch opposing force. You know, it seemed like it would be the obvious next step for Portal's story for Chell to show up in Half-Life 3 when I was younger, but now it seems impossible. Like, you know, realistically, why the hell would she get out of one hellhole and then run straight into another? Now, there's still a chance for these other two to show up. People really, really love Adrian Shepard, and people are really sort of interested in Colette Green. Like, they are kind of bemused by her. I mean, Alyx is currently unavailable, so Gordon needs a new companion. Spot's available. I don't think it's going to her dad. I mean, he's old and has one leg. Who knows? Maybe these two won't show up in Half-Life 3, but maybe Half-Life 3 will get its own side sequels to Opposing Force and Decay. And you know what? Blue Shift too, because I want to play as Barney again. Fuck you. Finally, we have Half-Life 2 cut content. I'm putting a firm no. Maybe I'm wrong, guys, but I think it's time we give up on the cremator. Yes, I know they still technically might exist in lore because of the head in Black Mesa East, but I think we need to move on. No female Combine assassins with the thigh-high boots is going to show up and goon out Gordon Freeman. No free TVs, there's no ice picks, there's no Combine super soldiers. If anything, I'd look more towards cut Alyx ideas or cut ideas from episode 3 that was shown in the documentary. Like that gun that we saw and then they completely ignored. The Frozone gun, and of course the Blob. I really hope they bring the Blob back because man, that looked cool. Oh yeah, and give up on calling it episode 3, guys. It's either Half-Life 3 or it's not coming out. I just cannot fathom how some of you, not many of you, but some of you still think they're gonna call it episode 3. It's been 18 years, guys. I'm sorry, but you're just insane. And with that, folks, I am done with this video. You should consider supporting my Patreon to help keep this channel and my art going. You should definitely follow my art socials and maybe commission me if you want. See you later. Bye.